What is going on, guys and gals? Brooklyn bound the raid scientist here, and today let's walk through everything you'll need to know to take on the latest Grandmaster Nightfall Proving Grounds. And let me tell you, this one is definitely one of the harder Grandmasters I've done and can be very intimidating. But nonetheless, it is still doable with some teamwork and communication, and I'll cover my recommendations for subclass choices, weapons, and room-by-room strategies in this video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This is an amazing community, and I hope you enjoy the content. If so, supporting by liking and subscribing is the ultimate compliment, and it's totally free. If you're a frequent flyer around here, welcome back. You're an absolute badass. So, I was pretty busy with things this week, honestly, so I didn't get to this Nightfall until about Thursday night. Shout out to Trungle Fever at twitch.tv, who shared his strats with me for our run and helped us finish. So, Proving Grounds, Grandmaster, Cabal Champions, Fireballs of Death, Tanks, Grenades. Let's go. First off, if you're wondering if I'm going to cover the boss cheese, Bungie already patched it. You can no longer go up top in the boss room and safely melt the boss from up top. At the time of making this video, you can still use the Skyburner's Oath exotic scout rifle without an anti-barrier scout mod. Yeah, I know, it's a little counterintuitive, but you can do this in order to shoot through the big orange bubbles and destroy them from afar. But honestly, I don't think it's really worth using. If you're skilled enough to take on a Grandmaster, I really don't recommend wasting an exotic slot on Skyburners unless you truly want to use it. It does have bonus Cabal damage and isn't a bad gun, but cheesing the bubbles really isn't necessary to beat this. But if you're wondering, that's how it works. So let's walk through subclass options, as there are a fair number of combinations that will obviously work. I recommend picking a combination of things that works the best for your team. So my way isn't necessarily the only way, but I have seen a lot of success running 2 Titans, both on Middle Tree Void with Banner Shield, running Ursa Furiosa, and a Warlock running either Chaos Reach or Stasis. The Banner Shield Titans with Ursa Furiosa will allow for the Titans to rotate and chain Banner Shield Supers, which in the large tank room and in the boss room are absolutely needed. Make sure you maximize your intellect in any way you can. Be sure you and the other Titan are on the same page when it comes to a Banner Shield rotation. You want to make sure when you are actively rotating Banner Shields that the next one up is active before the other one goes down. For Warlock, Chaos Reach with Geomag Stabilizers is a pretty good way to melt tanks, champions, and burst DPS the boss. As I mentioned, running Stasis is also a very good choice, as the freeze grenade turret thingy is pretty OP and does amazing against the champions. If you're running this, maximize your discipline to get as many grenades as possible, and using Verity's Brow will also help you get even more grenade energy by getting energy weapon kills. If you're destined to use a hunter, no worries, it's still doable. Once again, Stasis is probably your best option. With the ability to freeze pushing champions and other enemies, it's going to be top tier. Bottom Tree Night Stalker is not a bad option either. You will constantly be using your smoke to invis your team. Note that in the boss room, the Fireballs of Death will track you while invisible, so be mindful of this. For weapon choices, sniper rifles with anti-barrier sniper from your artifact are basically a necessity. There are many occasions where burst damage against champions is needed, and team shotting with snipers will allow you to do this much safer from long range. Your only other option this season for anti-barrier is a scout rifle. You're going to also need either unstoppable hand cannon or unstoppable pulse rifle. Solar and Void are the best, as there are solar shielded Centurions and Void shields on the Interceptors, and only very rarely an arc shield in the tank room. For heavy, Anarchy once again is your best friend. It's very useful on the orange bubbles and burning champions from cover, as well as the boss. If you don't have Anarchy, it's fine. A good rocket launcher with lasting impression and impact casing is also very good too, and tracking is definitely a plus. For mods, it's the same old song and dance for Grandmasters. Concussive Dampener, Protective Light, taking charge, reserves for both your special and heavy weapons, and then finders for your special and heavy weapons. And if anyone on your team is running stasis, the non-stasis player should also be putting on Focusing Lens, which is an artifact mod this season that boosts damage against frozen or stasis affected combatants. Alright, once you've set yourself up, now you gotta actually get in there and take on this Nightfall head on. When you start, head to the left and use the large red cables and rocks on the left for cover as you clear out the enemies and the adds. Watch out for the turrets and take them out ASAP. There will be an unstoppable near the bottom of the hill fighting the Vex, a barrier about halfway up, and then a second unstoppable will spawn. Once the 3 champions and the adds are dead, the mini-boss will spawn from the inside the large structure along with another unstoppable. Once you get the mini-boss to about half health, he will go immune, and another unstoppable will spawn from the area on the left with some additional adds. Once he's dead, you'll need to move up and blow up the orange immune bubble. If you tag it with a lasting impression rocket or a single anarchy shot, you can dip in the bubble, shoot it, and then run for cover. Doing this 2 or 3 times will drop it, and will make the mini-boss damageable again. Finish it off and push inside. Remember this strategy for later when you have to do this same type of thing in the boss room. The next major area is the first major problem area for many groups, the garage, aka the tank room. Before dropping in, take out the enemies from up above, and be sure to be on the same page with your team with your strategy for when you drop in. We like to stay in the middle with rotating banner shields to clear out all of the snipers and adds, and then we fled to either the right side or the left side before the tank spawn. However, if you don't have that ability, I recommend using those large blast walls on the left or right side of the room immediately to protect yourselves. Note that you don't want to stand too close to those blast walls as you can die from splash damage from stuff shooting them. The tank room has 2 main phases, the initial phase and then the tank phase. In the initial phase, when you drop down, the sniper scions on the top left and top right will be your first main priority. Then, focus on the champions and mini-bosses in the middle. There will be 2 void interceptors running around in the back. Don't worry about them until the snipers and the champions are dead. Note that the tanks will not spawn and start phase 2 until everything in wave 1 is dead. So I recommend leaving up 1 or 2 legionaries so you can run around, grab ammo and orbs before finishing them off. Once you start phase 2, there will be 2 new snipers up that you need to prioritize, and then you want to focus on the closest champions to you. There will likely be a barrier champion against the wall, depending on which side you're on, and then more champions in the middle. Use heavy and snipers to take out one of the tanks closest to you quickly after the sniper and champions are dead. Managing 1 tank is much easier than 2, and honestly, the snipers and champions are much more lethal. This room is all about prioritizing the enemies and have everyone work together in team shot. When burning the tank or the champions, everyone should team shot and burn them down fast so that they don't regen health. It may take you a few tries, but once you memorize where all the enemy spawns and where to prioritize, it's really not as daunting as it seems. After the tank room, you'll work a series of halls and do the orb collection phase and depositing phase. This part is pretty easy as long as you take your time. My best advice here is to just always pick up the ball and then activate the adds, and then just drop it immediately and clear all the adds. Then go deposit them after everything's been cleared. Remember to watch for scion snipers and turrets as you enter each room, so be patient and check your corners. If you survive the tank room, this part's pretty trivial. So let's skip right on up to the part where everyone's probably wondering, the boss room. Because honestly, this is the hardest part, and once again, like the tank room, it's all about memorizing the spawns, the phases, and what to prioritize, and you can easily conquer this boss. There are 2 main strategies or locations I've seen teams use here, and honestly, they're about the same. Some people prefer fighting up top, aka near where the boss spawns by the toaster oven. What the hell is that thing, by the way? And others like to fight right where you spawn in the room. The main difference is that up top, you can use that toaster oven hall thingy to avoid the fireballs and the boss down below. So, this is what we prefer. As soon as the boss spawns, have one of your titans pop super and block the fireballs. Throughout this entire fight, these flaming fireballs are the #1 priority at all times, and they can get very repetitive. Balls spawn, shoot them. Plain and simple. They will kill you. The only other option is to, as a team, rotate underneath through the tunnel toaster oven and avoid the bombs that way. This will create you having to go back and forth a lot. Note that the banner shield titans can block the fireballs with the shields, so if you're rotating supers efficiently enough, you can actually use these to avoid to have to keep moving and shooting them. During this time, the boss will stay in the middle as you need to focus on the balls and the wave of adds that spawn, which will be phalanx and legionaries. Take them out and then focus on damaging the boss. She is an absolute tank. Once you finally get her health bar down through the first bar down to 2/3 is when the first wave of unstoppables will spawn. If you are up top, you will literally need to spawn trap the ones that spawns on your side and burn it down as fast as possible. Heavy, grenade, sniper, whatever, but it needs to die fast. Otherwise, it'll push you, stomp you, and burn you down and you're dead. Then, stun and focus on the other one, and you can use the tunnel to kite it back and forth because it has to take the long way around. During this time, the boss will go into a immune bubble, but will continue to shoot the fire at you. Once you've burned down 2 unstoppables, it's now time to break the bubble, and you're going to do it similarly as you did at the very beginning. Have 1 or 2 people try to get the boss's attention, while another person sneaks in and drops an anarchy or a lasting impression rocket onto the core a couple times until it blows. Once it pops, the boss will become damageable again. Now, the whole process repeats again. Add spawn, damage the boss, and avoid the fireballs while killing them. Keep using the tunnel to your advantage. Once you've done 2/3 of her health, she'll go immune again, and this time she will jump on top of the tunnel into another bubble. Now, 2 more unstoppables will spawn in the same 2 doors, one on the left and one on the right. I highly recommend you quickly migrate down to the entrance door area at this point, because the boss will not be as lethal to you from that far away. During this time, you once again need to burn these 2 unstoppables. Keep them stunned from a distance so they don't push you too much. Once they are dead, you'll need to carefully make your way up to the boss to break the bubble again. Note that she will eventually stop shooting the fireballs after a certain time. However, if you are running out of time, you'll need to push up. I recommend having the team split up on each side of her bubble and carefully have one person jump up and drop that rocket or anarchy on the core and jump back down. Watch out for her to stomp you, so do not jump up if she's on the same side as you. Finally, once the bubble is down, it's go time. The final wave of ads spawn, and the boss will be in the final DPS phase, and she will be roaming around. Stay together and burn down the ads using banner shield and supers to clear them quickly, and then start kiting the boss and just stay away from her. It's honestly not that bad of an idea to split up a little bit here. That way she isn't pushing your entire team and you can get killed together. You won't have any more champions or ads once that final ad wave is cleared, so you'll only have to focus on the boss. Keep plugging away and be patient. Do not forget to prioritize the fireballs. Even if the boss is very, very low health, they can still wipe you in an instant. Once she finally falls, you'll be rewarded with those Grandmaster Nightfall rewards. Here is a quick summary on screen of the entire fight from the perspective I just explained. Thanks for watching, and keep plugging away at this one and you can get through it. As I've mentioned, it's all about memorizing the ad spawns, champion spawns, and logistics of each room. Once your team is all on the same page and you've committed the spawns and enemy locations to memory, you're going to be in a much better position for success. Best of luck in getting this one done, Guardians. And if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to at least give it a thumbs up and comment down below. I would really greatly appreciate it. Until next time, Guardians, best of luck.